Let's take the statement, all cheetahs are fast. We're going to use that statement to learn to write a conditional statement. A conditional statement is an if-then statement. So here's an example of a conditional statement. If an animal is a cheetah, then it is fast. So it's important to know that conditional statements may or may not be true. This statement is likely to be true a lot of the time, but maybe there's a cheetah and he's not fast. So just because we say it as a conditional statement, if an animal is a cheetah, then it is fast, that does not make it true. It might or might not be true. So conditional statements have two parts. The first part is called the hypothesis, and the hypothesis is the part that comes after the if. And then we also have the conclusion, which is what comes after the then. Students are often asked to identify the hypothesis or the conclusion in a conditional statement, and the biggest mistake they make is to include the if or the then in their answer. So I might say, what is the hypothesis? And a student would say, if an animal is a cheetah. But technically the hypothesis does not count the if. The hypothesis would just be an animal is a cheetah, and the conclusion would be it is fast. Let's take a moment and get a definition down for a conditional statement. A conditional statement is a logical statement written in if-then form with two parts, a hypothesis and a conclusion. So let's take another look at a statement. This statement may or may not be true. Studying hard will get you good grades. Studying hard does in fact lead to good grades a lot of the time, but there's no guarantee just because you study hard you will get good grades. But let's not worry about if the statement is true or false. Let's just learn how to write a conditional statement. So we're going to turn this into an if-then statement. When you're trying to figure out what goes after the if, you have to think about the thing that comes first. Does studying hard come first in this situation, or does getting good grades come first? Well, this scenario is implying that you need to study hard as the first thing that's happening. So that's why you're going to write the statement, if you study hard, then you will get good grades. And again, the hypothesis is you study hard, and the conclusion would be you will get good grades. Remember that conditional statements can be true or false. And if you're trying to verify whether a conditional statement is true or false, you really again want to look for a counterexample. Try to look for a time when it's not true. Oh, well, I remember on February 7th, it was 60 degrees out. Now I'm making this up. That's not true, but all you need is one example of when the statement was not true to prove that it's not true. So you're looking for a counterexample, the one example or at least one example when the statement was not true.